The news is coming in fast and furious.
Never ever stops. Yeah. We know that Bill Belichick is speaking now, but given the nature of our on-demand show, we'll try to.
I was on First Take this morning, and I always like being on First Take on like breaking serious news days because you just never know what the debate will be. So, caught a little bit of who's greater, Saban or Belichick, you know?
Who is?
Who is?
I said Belichick just because of how hard it is to succeed for that long in the modern NFL. Are we recording or are we just having
Yeah, we
convo?
already started. It blurs.
Oh.
It blurs the line. You never know around here. Are we recording? We like the organic hellos. So what do you have back there that you're waving around, Jessica?
This is the present that Mina sent us for Christmas.
Oh, my goodness.
We've got a present for the entire group. All right.
Is that right, Mina? Who's it for specifically?
It is for the entire group, yeah. It's for the studio.
All right, let's go ahead and
All right,
open
I'll
it
open
up.
it. Stand by.
And while you're doing this, we will keep an eye on you. And in the interim, Mina, I will ask you.
Can I ask you a question that we debated earlier? Because Dan looked at me funny when I said that personally I felt that Washington is a better scenario than the Chargers, even though they have a finished product at quarterback. They're picking number 2. They have brand new ownership over there, lower expectations, and a quarterback potentially on a cheaper contract. I think Washington's not a bad spot for Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on, in terms of those jobs, whether you want that total blank slate and what your timeline is, because it's going to take a second in Washington. The defense was really bad this year, and for some reason traded away both of their edge rushers instead of just one, Montez Sweat, who's been awesome in Chicago, and Chase Young. They do have the most cap space in the NFL, so there's stuff to rebuild with, but it might take time. As good as we think these top 2 quarterbacks are, you've seen many examples in the NFL recently of rookie quarterbacks struggling at first. So again, if I'm like a Belichick or I don't know, one of the younger coordinators who are being considered, there's a lot to like about that job, but it might take a second. And for ownership, I think you really need someone who you're going to hand over the keys because you're kind of starting from zero there. I will say the fact that they have a very good wide receiving core already, it puts them ahead of where Carolina was, which is what came to mind when I was thinking about a similar situation.
We're going to do a little unboxing here, Mina.
Okay.
I'll do a little.
But if you had to choose one from those 2 jobs, which one's better for Belichick? Just one word. Is it?
I'd say the Chargers. Yeah, just because I think with the quarterback situation already being resolved there, and I think he can fix the defense, even though they still have to add a lot of pieces. Defensively, he's been awesome. Since 2019, the Patriots defense first in points per game. Yes. Here we go.
No,
you guys like it?
No worky. Yes, we love it. What a surprise! This is a great gift.
Is it from your mom or is it from you?
It's from me. Just so you don't think it's cringe, Jessica.
Is Billy Gill here today? Because he's
Billy's
not. I don't know why
here
I
today.
asked that. Because
oh no,
Billy threw a couple people back here under the bus last week on Mystery Crate because he took the heat for that take, which was not really his.
I don't know whose take it was.
So nobody's owning it right now. Well, I thought you could put it next to the that fancy espresso machine you guys have.
Mina, which is the best job for Belichick? Chargers or a different one? Like if you say, I believe he'll end up at blank.
I do like the Chargers for him. I think he can fix that defense. There's still some talented players. They're in a really, to Mike's point, they're in a really bad cap situation. They're going to have to let go of 2 of the big 4 on both sides of the ball. But I think with Belichick, just given the lack of success he's had over the last few years offensively with his hires and with the quarterback selection and the players he's drafted, stepping into a team that of all of the openings clearly has the best quarterback situation makes a lot of sense.
You mentioned Sweat, and I believe he led 2 teams in sacks, correct? That cannot happen very often. Which of the games this weekend is the one that's most interesting to you? Because I love Rams-Lions. I believe one of those teams could absolutely get to the Super Bowl, and one of them's going to have their season ended.
Rams-Lions is the one that I feel like I have the least feel for, Dan. I think it's the hardest one to pick.
More than Chiefs-Dolphins in that weather. More than Chiefs-Dolphins in that weather. Like that weather to me makes Chiefs-Dolphins impossible.
No, it makes me lean Chiefs. I mean, that and more so than the weather, all of the injuries in Miami, which are just absolutely brutal at this point. With Rams Lions, like both of those offenses should be able to move the ball on both of these defenses. Both of these offenses match up well with these defenses. The Rams defense, not great at stopping the run. Here come the Detroit Lions. The Lions defense allows the highest QBR in the NFL to quarterbacks throwing to wide receivers. Well, the Rams have some wide receivers. So for me, that one, it's hard to pick because of the sort of equality on that front. And also because both of these quarterbacks played very well this year, but occasionally will have the multi-interception game in the case of Stafford, as good as he's been. So if something like that were to happen, I think it would make this game hard to predict. And then there's all the juicy narratives going into it as well.
We love talking football with you, but you're good at the societal stuff. So your viewpoint most recently on Aaron Rodgers as the first stopping place of where he wanted to reveal more of himself to America when he was the State Farm insurance man was going to you to have a magazine story written about him. And then since then, everything has gone.
You know, the cover of that story says, I think the title line is Aaron Rodgers Unmasked. It's from 2016.
Well, since then he did win I think at least one MVP, so it didn't all go to shit.
I'm just saying, from State Farm insurance agent to guy who wants to be seen by the public to now this is the way that he's seen.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. It feels like a million years ago, Tuesday, when he was talking about because so many things have happened since then. But like when I was watching him, Dan, I was thinking about that question, and I was thinking about, I think a few weeks ago, you asked me what changed with him since you met him, and I sort of gave a throwaway answer, part because I really hate pretending like I have unique insight into any athlete that I've spent like 24 hours with, you know, just because I did a story on him. So there's that. But also I think I was like, you know, seems like he spent a lot of time on the internet, kind of waved it off. And I think that was a mistake on my part, or at least I regretted it watching him Tuesday, because, you know, watching him, I think it really drove home what is at stake, or like what is the meaningful thing about this story that transcends sports, which is the sort of normalization of conspiracy theories. And I say that not to criticize Rodgers' character or whatever, but really just to kind of criticize the substance of what he was saying, to criticize the sources he was throwing out. I mean, the names that he was bringing up. I don't know, Alex Berenson, for example, the former journalist. So he said his name. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's a guy who's been consistently proven wrong about vaccines and their efficacy and their danger. He has been misleading in how he has used studies. I'm sure some of the same studies that Rodgers has read. The authors of those studies have refuted him. You could ask any credible scientist, doctor, public health expert, and they would refute him. But when I was watching Rodgers and he said his name, I wasn't surprised to hear it, because the people who believe the things that I think Rodgers now believes, they always cite the same people. You know, it really is groupthink kind of masquerading as independent thought. And it's not just on the fringes of society. I think, as evidenced by the fact, obviously, that one of our most famous athletes is now believing some of these things. But I think a lot of us have people in our lives who have gone down similar I know I do, rabbit holes, who are sort of tempted by the idea of feeling like they know something that the rest of us don't, who, when they're met with skepticism or criticism, as Rodgers was, and I think this is at the heart of a lot of this, they double down. They're still having these debates while the rest of the world has moved on. And I feel like, you know, the fact that that's not just on the fringes is worth noting, and it's worth always checking those points when they're made and not just laughing them off the way we so often do. Because, you know, I understand that there's this inside baseball media aspects of the story that are interesting to you and others, and there's the rhetoric battle. But to me, like, when I was watching that, what I felt was at stake was none of that. It's this ongoing devaluation of facts and expertise. And that bothers me. And it bothered me that I didn't actually answer your question the first time you asked it, because I do think what he said was emblematic of that. Sorry, that was like a monologue.
That's okay, Mina. Aaron Rodgers owns a lot of bad opinions. He also owns the Chicago Bears. Can you explain what the hell the Bears strategy is and why they're keeping their head coach but firing their offensive coordinator, and what they're going to do with Justin Fields? What are they doing, Mina?
50 seconds or less, Mina.
They're keeping him because the defense really turned around, and they did turn around. They were playing really good football at the end. However, I don't agree with this decision, because whether you're sticking with Justin Fields and going to your third offensive coordinator, or you're drafting a guy, it restricts what you can do offensively because you're not hiring an offensive coach. And also because of the candidates who are available. I mean, this is like an all-time option, or buffet of options, rather, when it comes to head coaching candidates. To stick with Eberflus.
Yeah, we lost. It was fighting. The Zoom was fighting. The Zoom was fighting. It was trying to get there.
We've been getting hits, and
Yes.
you froze on Eberflus.
Yes. We'll come back with Mina Kimes next.
My bad.
We are psyched. So tell us why you're psyched, where you're psyched, how you're psyched. Tell us.
I think every single one. Okay, that's not true. Pittsburgh, Buffalo's not good. But every single one of these games outside of Pittsburgh, Buffalo is a good game. Every single one of these games, you can make a case for an upset. Start to finish. It is wall-to-wall bangers. If you asked me to make an upset, I think I could do it for every team. Maybe not. I can do it for Pittsburgh. I could make an upset case for Pittsburgh, Jess.
All right, let's do this. 15 seconds at a time. Make all the upset cases. We're going to give you only 15 seconds on each one.
15 on each, not 15
Yes,
total.
15 on each. Are you ready to start? You seem pressurized right now. Go ahead and start. All right, let's do this.
Are you going to queue up you want me to queue myself up here?
I want you to queue yourself up. 3. I'll keep it. I'll count down, and then I'll give you 15 seconds and tell you where it's time. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, the Texans, simply put, C.J. Stroud. He is the best quarterback on the field. He has shredded all kinds of defenses. He's been incredible under pressure. Obviously, the Browns' defense is excellent, but if there was one young quarterback I would trust to solve it, it would be C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins. I don't think that they're going to win.
Splash.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yes, 15 seconds. Yes, back to
Miami.
splash.
Yeah. Here's a case for Miami. The Chiefs' run defense is really bad. And it's a cold game. Yeah, they've struggled in cold weather, but they still run the football really well. They run it really well to the outside, which is something the Chiefs have struggled to defend. I think Devon Achane could have a big day if they commit to the run and come up with some creative solutions for what they have to do on defense. What's the next game?
Buffalo, Pittsburgh. 3, 2, 1.
Aside from the, maybe Josh Allen will go get the zoomies and turn the ball over, Pittsburgh is really good at running the football. They come out with multiple tight ends. They're ground and pound, and the Bills' defense does struggle a little bit to stop the run at times.
Oh,
Splash.
Wow. You came in. Look at her. She's getting better, and she's proud of herself. 3. Do I need to give you the game, or you got another game? 3.
Packers.
2.
Right? We're on the Packers. Right?
1.
Okay, everything I said about C.J. Stroud, you could also apply to Jordan Love. But I'll say this, the Cowboys' defense, while they are very good, struggle to stop the run. Aaron Jones is back, looks good, got a lot of yards after contact last week. And I think that the Packers' young group of skill players actually will be able to hunt matchups with Dallas.
I think you were early there. I think you cheated there, Mike. I feel like you did. 3,
Wait,
2.
What game are we on right now?
Well, this is up to you, actually. 3.
Eagles, Bucks.
Cleveland.
Oh.
All right,
Yeah,
Eagles, Bucks.
He never prematurely splashes.
3, 2, 1.
Have you watched the Eagles lately? I don't really need to say anything else. That's it.
Yeah,
Splash.
That's good. It's excellent analysis. I've got to admit it.
We skipped a game, didn't we? What did I skip?
Did you do the Browns? I don't think you did. Did you do the Browns?
did.
You did? I
The
missed
Texans
it.
are the
Totally-
underdogs.
Oh, my bad.
Browns are favored.
My bad.
Oh, the Lions, the Rams and Lions.
All
The
right.
Rams are underdogs. Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Jared Goff struggles under pressure. This Rams pass rush is actually heated up. It's not just Aaron Donald. The young players, Kobe Turner, Byron Young, have been getting after the quarterback. And on the other side, Matthew Stafford, at his peaks, is playing as good as any quarterback in football. And as I said earlier, I don't think the Lions secondary has answers for those receivers.
Are there any more games? Did we miss it?
That's
Did we?
it. Those
That's
are the
it. Those
games.
are all the
Splash.
games. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Chris Cody.
With the Dolphins and Tua, what do you think about them this offseason doing what the Rams did when they had Jared Goff? Realizing we have a fine quarterback. The question is there a quarterback out there that the Dolphins could make a move similar to what the Rams did to get Stafford?
Like, who is their Matthew
Kirk Cousins,
Stafford?
even though I think he's a free agent.
It's not Kirk Cousins. I mean, the thing with Tua and Stafford and Goff is the analogy would be like, okay, Sean McVay wanted a quarterback who he didn't have to scheme up offense for, who could create on his own, who could, whether it was, on extended plays or just the straight drop back game, which is where the Rams offense went once they acquired Matthew Stafford. He would just get it empty and dissect defenses. Does Mike McDaniel want a quarterback like that? As good as his offense has been with Tua, I think it really depends on who's available, because there really aren't many quarterbacks who have Stafford's ceiling who are capable of doing everything he did. No one comes to mind, but the thing is, you never know with the NFL. Somebody could get surly and want out. I don't know. But when I look around the league, I don't see a similar option for Miami. Certainly not one who presents an upgrade. It's definitely not Kirk Cousins, who was much more like Tua than Stafford.
Mike Ryan was making the argument on behalf of Pete Carroll being the big retirement yesterday, because we're underselling and underappreciating that he won titles in the pros and in college and just got engulfed by Saban and Belichick. You're a Seattle fan, and I was shocked. I was shocked by him being let go. Were you?
I was shocked, and I can tell you a lot of people in the building were shocked as well, because Pete Carroll wanted to stay. This wasn't a mutual parting of ways. He, as recently as Monday or Tuesday, was talking about how he still wanted to be the coach. I was shocked because, Jody Allen is the owner now. She is mostly sided with Carroll. You remember the split with Russell Wilson, all the reporting around that, choosing between Pete and Russ and John, who's their GM, John Schneider. But I wasn't totally shocked when you sit back and you look at why this team has struggled as they've been to the playoffs. They went to the playoffs the year after Russell Wilson, but why they have fallen short, especially compared to, the Rams and the Niners. And it felt like every year it was inevitable that those teams would beat them. It was because of the defense, which is Pete Carroll's side of the football. It's interesting, right? Because with Belichick's case, it was because of the offense, which is not his side of the football, but he erred in the players he picked and the coaches he brought in. Pete's side, the defense has been bad for like 6 years now. Ultimately, the defense is why they're not in the playoffs. I may have made fun of Jets' Steelers, but they ran all over Seattle in a very humiliating loss. So I think when you look at it through that lens, you can understand why ownership thought, okay, well, we've given you 6 years to turn around this defense. We've given you trades. You trade for Jamal Adams. You trade for Leonard Williams. You draft Devin Witherspoon, and it still looks bad. And so I think when you think about it that way, it makes sense.
One of my favorite moments in Mina Kimes history and in show history was us going like 12 minutes beyond where the clock found acceptable when she was in a mall in Minnesota on a zip line, giving a take, waiting to get the payoff that ended up sounding, the football take on a zip line ended up sounding like this.
It is amazing, by the way, that there's no video of this.
There is not, but
it's like a blurry screenshot.
Juju had a great idea, though. Juju suggested that it's a Super Bowl because there's a zip line over downtown, Fremont Street, that we should have a Mina Kimes give a take football zip line challenge. The best take wins some sort of prize on a zip line. You were terrified there, correct?
I'm afraid of two things. I feel like maybe I shouldn't reveal this on the internet. One is spiders, and the other is heights. Why am I afraid? Like someone's going to drop a spider on my front door. Oh God, please don't do that. Nobody mail me a spider. I do not like heights. I could be at like a rooftop party and you would find me dead center in the middle. I will stay far away from the ledge. I hate looking down. I hated every second of that. I don't know why I agreed to do it. And I'm just glad it's not on video and I'm surprised I didn't pee my pants, honestly, because I was so afraid the whole time.
I don't understand this fear of spiders. Just kill it. Step on it. Get it out. Like
They're
it's
scary.
It's a primitive fear,
it's such
Chris.
a little tiny thing.
The way they move is upsetting.
They're yucky.
That's what it is. It's the multiple legs all moving at once. I just don't like that.
I want a documentary on the engineering for like a spider web. You ever see these things work? You're always like, you ever wonder, like, how did you get the thing way over there?
I'm sure that's a documentary you would spend a lot of time with.
How did you get the other string way over there?
I'm sure you would spend 2 hours on a documentary of that kind, with that as the content. Jeremy, you wanted to offer Mina an apology because Billy did betray you. Billy publicly said, snitched. He said that you were the one who criticized Mina Kimes'.
Give me a moment. Mina, first of all, we don't know each other that well, so I want to issue this apology because when we all saw the sign behind you,
you made fun of it. Just admit it, dude.
We were all
It was you?
we were all chatting back here. And as one of the young people on the show, I would just like to issue an apology on behalf of Lucy for her totally making fun of you.
Oh my God!
Whoa, that is not how that happened.
Oh my
I don't know what you're talking
God.
about.
So
Oh my
Jeremy said
God.
that's a very millennial sign, and I agreed. Okay, I'll say that. I did agree, and I'm sorry. But then I said we should make Billy ask about it.
That's exactly what happened.
And he did it, and that's his own fault. He
Yep,
should
it's
not
on
have
Billy.
listened to me.
How old is Jeremy?
I'm 28.
Oh,
On
so
the line.
Aren't you a millennial?
Nope.
You're not. You're a Zoomer.
You're a
I'm right.
millennial.
I'm in between, technically. There's like that 3-year gap where you can kind of claim one or the other. Born in 1995. Anyway, this ruined the show.
Jeremy, go sit in Kansas City and don't ever come back. Like, just go sit. In
Yeah,
Kansas
you know what?
City
I
and
deserve
get
it. I'm
here.
out.
I've been
You
trying to tell you guys.
exude millennial energy.
He said, I ruined the show.
He did. Put it on the poll,
You
please.
really did.
At Le Batard Show. Did Jeremy ruin the show? What was your favorite story, Mina? We got 20 seconds left. Just your favorite story from yesterday. All the sports shit that happened.
10 seconds.
Oh my God. I mean, the Pete Bell saving stuff all dropping within the span of 24 hours. Like, I know I was just I started this with like a long, very preachy
3
monologue
seconds.
about conspiracy theories. But that's where my conspiracy theories would be like, did these all guys all get together? Are they on a chat? Did they all decide?